Turn this down. All right, what's your name?
Yasmin Stewart.
Okay, Miss Stewart, you've been charged with drug paraphernalia. That'll be a Class A misdemeanor if convicted. You've also been charged with trespass, and that'd be a Class C misdemeanor if convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to read the allegations?
What do you mean?
What they're accusing you of doing.
Oh, no.
Okay, you have some, well, if you cannot afford an attorney, I can appoint one. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd ask you some questions on oath to make sure you qualify, as well as to set your bond. So you raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. You swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form, any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And also, I'm going to have to ask you questions for setting your bond. You can put your hand down.
Oh,
You have a job?
no, sir.
Any property, a house, or car that you own?
No, sir.
Any other forms of income or of assets?
No, sir.
You live in Knoxville?
Yes, sir.
How long you lived here?
All my life.
You got family here?
Yes, sir.
And is there anybody that would vouch for your liability to show up in court?
Yes.
Who would that be?
My auntie and my granny.
Okay, I'm going to set the bond on the paraphernalia case at $500, and then on the trespass case at $250, with the condition of bond, should you post it, that you stay off of all Knox County Development Corporation property. And I'm going to set this in court on this coming Monday, that's November 28th. So that if you are unable to post those bonds, the judge can consider reducing them or releasing you at that time. They can reconsider the bond anyway. And if you do post the bond, they will give you a different court date to go to when you're being released. Go to that one instead. As soon as that's done printing out, I will get you an attorney and we'll be done.
All right. Thank you, sir.
We're not quite done.
Okay.
So it looks like you are represented by an attorney named
Graves.
Michael Graves.
Yes, sir. Can I keep him?
Yes. I will appoint Mr. Graves to represent you in this case as well.
All right. Thank you, sir.
I'm going to waive the administrative fee that we normally assess for the appointment of counsel because it's already been assessed in a pending case. And let me get you Mr. Graves' telephone number, which I'm pretty sure is 388-3199. Which it is, 388-3199. Try and get a hold of him prior to your court date, which if you don't post bond will be on this coming Monday.
All right, thank you.
That's all I have for you.
All right, thank you, sir. You know the slider, I'll put you in there. Tell the slider.
What's your name?
Michael.
What's your first name?
CG.
Okay, Miss Carmichael, you have an attachment that was issued in an introduction or possession of contraband in a penal facility case. You have a $1,000 appearance bond penal resolution attachment, and it was issued for failure to appear on July 15th of this year. You also have an alleged violation of probation, and the state is alleging that you were placed on probation for paraphernalia on March 24th of 2021 for 11 months and 29 days, and that you willfully violated the lawful conditions of your probation
Was unsupervised.
by committing the offense. That's possible. It's a suspended sentence. They still do a violation of probation. And then they say that you violated it by committing the offenses of drug paraphernalia and introduction or possession of contraband in a penal facility. The paraphernalia on December 30th and the other one on December 31st, and fair pay fine in full. And one of our sessions judges has ordered that you be held without bond pending the resolution of alleged violation. You understand what's going on?
Somewhat.
What don't you understand?
I mean, I understand my charges, so.
If you cannot afford an attorney, I can appoint one for you. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'd ask you some questions on oath. Make sure you qualify, so you raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. You swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form, any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes.
Thank you. You have a job?
No.
Any property, a house or car that you own?
No.
Any other forms of income or of assets? So it looks like you are currently represented by an attorney named Spencer Reed in another case.
Okay.
I will appoint Mr. Reed to represent you in this case as well. I'm going to waive the administrative fee that we normally assess for the appointment of counsel because it's already been assessed in a pending case. Mr. Reed's telephone number is 297-5264. Try and get a hold of him prior to your court date, which I'm going to set on Monday, November 28th in felony court. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you. Thanks.
What's your name?
Crystal Humphreys.
See if I have your form. You said Humphreys?
Yes.
I have paperwork for you.
It just got faxed over.
So I should have 5 forms.
Yeah.
I don't have that yet. I'll have to wait for it to come in before I can arraign you. you don't mind letting someone else go real fast.
You have Weston's.
Yes, I have Weston and French. I think it says
Weston in
French.
front of you.
What's your name?
Weston.
What's your first name?
Dixon. Vicky.
Okay, Miss Weston, you've been charged with theft involving property or services valued over $1,000. That'd be a Class E felony if convicted. You've also been charged with violation of the sex offender registration form. It's just not filling out the form or providing information, I believe, is what that offense is. That'd be a Class E felony if convicted. And you've been charged with identity theft. That would be a Class D felony if convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, but that identity theft, I got 2 different last names, sir.
Possible. Would you like me to read the allegations?
I mean, I'm not understanding that because I have a head injury, but that's unfair for him to do that to me.
Would you like me to read the allegations?
And I had on an ankle bracelet letting him know I'm not my daughter or any one of my other kids. How could that police officer even much write out a statement like that though? But other than that, you can go ahead with what's going on. And
Okay. Do you want me to read the allegations, what they're accusing you of doing?
no, sir.
Okay, you have some rights I need to go over. The first is that you have the right to remain silent. No one can force you to make any statements. Any that you make voluntarily can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one for you. And you have the right to a preliminary hearing, that is a probable cause hearing, where the judge will hear the evidence against you and decide whether this case is strong enough to be bound over the grand jury for further prosecution. You understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need to
Yes,
ask you
when
some
I
questions
had,
on oath. Make sure you qualify as well as to set your bond. So you raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of jail. You swear or
yes, sir.
affirm that everything you filled out on this form, any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Correct, sir.
Thank you. You have a job,
No, sir.
any property, house, or car that you own?
No, sir.
Any other forms of income or of assets?
No, sir.
Live in Knoxville?
I'm supposed to be transferring back to Knoxville. That's the reason why the VOP is on me. I lived in Clinton, Tennessee, 141 Sunset Road, which I put that back on there because that's where I live at. That's where I was just saying before they picked me up in Knoxville, before I was arrested. I was staying with, oh my goodness. I was staying at 141 Sunset Road, apartment 4, Clinton, Tennessee. I'm still staying there, sir. But right now, I'm resident at your jailhouse right now. I don't know what to do or where to go. CDOC came and told me that I had to transfer back to Knoxville. I had to have an address. My family is working on it. Bobby Tate is who I'm staying with.
Okay, I'm going to set the bond on the sex offender registration form violation at $1,000, on the identity theft at $1,500, and I'm going to ROR the theft. So
Thank
it's
you.
$2,500 total. And I'm going to set these in felony court on Monday. That's November 28th for a bond review. So if you are unable to post these bonds, the judge can consider reducing them at that time. If you do post them, they will give you a different court date to go to when you're being released. Go to that one instead. And as soon as that's done printing out, I will get you an attorney.
Can it be the same one?
Yes. More than likely. So it looks like you are represented by Dylan Zinser in another case. And I will appoint Mr. Zinser to represent you in this one as well. I'm going to waive the administrative fee that's normally assessed with appointment of counsel because it's already been assessed in a pending case. Mr. Zinser's telephone number is 450-3333. Try and get a hold of him prior to your court date, which again will be on Monday. Let me see something. I think you might actually have some attachments.
Huh?
Before you go on, I think you have some attachments. Okay, so you have two attachments that were issued on August 12th for failure to appear in court. They were issued in a drug paraphernalia and a simple possession case, and you have a $500 appearance bond for each. You understand what's going on there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Took a charge.
I'm going to set those with your other cases on Monday. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Samantha French.
Hey, officer, I still haven't received that other form.
I'll let her know. Still has got numbers. All right.
Okay, Ms. French, you've been charged with the manufacture, delivery, sale, or possession with intent to manufacture, deliver, or sell methamphetamine in an amount greater than half a gram, as well as a Schedule 5 controlled substance. The methamphetamine case would be a Class B felony if convicted. The Schedule 5 case would be a Class E felony if convicted as charged. You've also been charged with simple possession or casual exchange of some other controlled substance. That'd be a Class A misdemeanor if convicted. And you've been charged with drug paraphernalia. That'd be a Class A misdemeanor convicted. And you've been charged with possession of a prescription drug without a prescription. That'd be a Class C misdemeanor convicted. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you like me to read the allegations?
No, you don't have to read the allegations, sir.
Okay, you have some rights I need to go over. The first is that you have the right to remain silent. No one can force you to make any statements. Any that you make voluntarily can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one for you. And you have the right to a preliminary hearing. That is a probable cause hearing where the judge will hear the evidence against you and decide whether this case is strong enough to be bound over the grand jury for further prosecution. You understand those rights?
Yes, sir, I do.
Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
No, because they have cost extra, and I understand my charges that are held against me. I don't, well, an attorney, how much is an attorney here?
Well, you can hire one, or I can, if you cannot afford one, I can appoint one.
Yeah, I don't mind you appointing an attorney towards me. But a lawyer, I don't have money for a lawyer, so.
Okay, I need to ask you some questions on oath to make sure you qualify, as well as to set your bonds. You raise your right hand and be sworn in. This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. Do you swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form and any testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have a job?
No, sir.
Any property, house, or car that you own?
I have a phone missing in property. That's about it.
You live in Knoxville?
Yes, sir.
How long you lived
I
here?
don't have an address. I have only lived here for a couple months, like 1 or 2 months.
Where'd you live before here?
Clarksville.
How long did you live there?
About ever since I was 18 years old.
How long ago was that?
So I'm 22, but about 3 years from now.
Okay. So if you were to say where you were from, where would that be?
I'm from McCall, Idaho. I came from Boise, but McCall, Idaho.
You have family here in this area?
No, sir, I don't have family here in this area. I wish I did.
Is there anybody that would vouch your liability to show up in court?
Yes, I'll be able to show up in court.
Okay, I'm gonna set the bond on the methamphetamine case at $5,000, and then on the Schedule 5 case at $1,000. So it's $6,000 total. And I'm the ROR everything else. Those are the only bonds you'll have to post. I'm going to set this in felony court on Monday, November 28th, so that if you were unable to post these bonds, the judge can consider reducing them at that time. If you do post them, they'll give you a different court date to go to when you're being released. Go to that one instead. As soon as that's done printing, I'll get you an attorney.
How you doing today, sir?
Okay, I'm going to appoint an attorney named Douglas Finnan to represent you. There is a $50 fee for the appointment of counsel. That needs to be paid in General Session Court Clerk's office on or before December 7th. But if you are unable to pay by that time, they will add it to your court costs at the conclusion of the case. Mr. Finnan's telephone number is 229-6749. Try and get a hold of him prior to your court date, which if you don't post the bond will be on Monday.
Okay. So when's my court date?
Monday.
November? Monday?
November 28th.
Okay, thank you.
And today, so it's 5 days.
5 days?
Yes. I don't know what's going on here.
That's my apologies, sir. The Unit 2 Control Officer told me that they were done with arraignment, so I'll back out and wait.
All right, give me a second. I'll send you an invite. And that's all I have for you.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. How long have you been in custody?
2 days. I was supposed to have an arraignment at midnight last night, but they were busy apparently.
I don't have any forms from last night. So what'd you say your name was?
Crystal Humphreys.
Can they try and email that form?
She said she can have her try.
Or she can try to email that over to make sure this is not given. I'm gonna email it over to you.
Thank you.
Please enter your security code.
What email address does she need to send that to?
report.magistrate@knoxcounty.org. Is that correct? John?
Huh?
Is it report.magistrate@knoxcounty.org?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. It's saying I'm low on toner, but usually it works anyway. I can't find the toner, probably because I'm trying to look for it right now. See if I can shake it. Sometimes that'll give it a little bit extra.
Oh, Sharon's been getting that for the past few.
But they should come on through even if it's low on toner or out. I feel like I have taken it out before and now I can't find it. There. But that's it. There. Yep. Did you get the email?
I haven't received any email.
Everything is correct.
Yeah,
You got it?
I haven't read yet. I just refreshed.
It's not come through. We don't have the men's forms either, though.
I've not received any emails.
It's making new noises. We might have something. Nope. Magistrate. I'm still, first of all, I don't have any forms for men. And second of all, I still have one woman that I'm doing. No, if you could, my fax machine's acting up. Is there any way you can try and email them? It is report.magistrate@knoxcounty.org. Thank you.
Did hers come through on email?
I don't think on email, the fax machine off and on is acting like it's got something. No idea what I do with my glasses. I can't see anything. No, and she has been there for. She's been in custody for. Yeah, I mean, it'll be 2 days at noon. So basically, a day and 3/4 day without a bond. So we do need to do her if we can. At least set a bond.
There's still nothing coming through. Magistrate. The at knoxcounty.org. So it's report.magistrate@knoxcounty.org.
Are you sure that's the email?
Yeah.
How, okay.
My emails are coming through from the troopers that I just got and UT. But I've not got anything from them.
Sounds like something's coming over on the fax again. And it keeps just shutting down, so it comes through.
Looks like we've got the men's theirs has come through.
I'm not trying it. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do before I call them in. I'm gonna go ahead and go through as much as I can, but they might have to pull you back up to get you an attorney later on. because we can't do that part without the affidavit. But I don't want you sitting there with no bond, so I'm at least going to go through the parts that I can do as far as the bond, getting you a bond
Thank you.
for now. Okay, and alrighty, I'll explain later. Alright, you've been charged with simple possession or casual exchange. That'd be a Class A misdemeanor convicted, excuse me. You've also been charged with possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. Is charged with a Class C felony, meaning that they are alleging that you were convicted of a felony involving drugs. You understand what you're charged with?
Yes.
Would you like me to read the allegations?
Actually, yes, please.
Okay. It says this incident occurred on or about Monday, November 21st, 2022 at 12:34. Actually, you have been in more than 2 days. 12:34 a.m. No, that is p.m. Not quite 2 days. At 7420 Chapman Highway, the defendant Joshua Lucas and Ashley Beaver were observed inside the Walmart located at 7420 Chapman Highway. The defendants were observed selecting merchandise and placing it into a shopping cart. That's interesting. I don't think that has anything to do with you. I'll keep reading. The defendants were observed selecting merchandise and placing it into a shopping cart. The defendants selected some of the merchandise and concealed it inside other merchandise they had selected. The defendant Lucas went to self-checkout and paid for a couple of items they had selected. The defendant Lucas exited the store, passing all points of sale without making an attempt to pay for the concealed merchandise, while the defendant Beaver went to the restroom. The defendants, working in concert, did attempt to deprive the business of approximately $637 in merchandise. The defendant Beaver exited the restroom and was taken into custody. The defendant Lucas walked through the parking lot to the top portion of the parking lot near the gas station, where the suspect vehicle, being operated by defendant Humphreys, pulled up next to him so that he could get in with all the merchandise that he was carrying. The suspect vehicle was stopped by officers and all individuals were detained. The defendant Crabtree was sitting in the front passenger seat when the vehicle was stopped. The defendant Crabtree told officers that the pickup truck they were in belonged to him and gave consent to search the vehicle. Officers located a Taurus handgun in the center console that contained 15 rounds in the magazine, but none in the chamber, between the defendant Humphreys and Crabtree. Officer located a black bag under the passenger side seat that contained a crystal-type substance consistent with methamphetamine, weighing 3.7 grams, a powder-type substance consistent with heroin weighing 0.5 grams, and another powder-type substance consistent with heroin weighing 1.2 grams. Officers found a small baggie with a powder substance consistent with heroin inside a purse belonging to defendant Humphreys. While searching the suspect vehicle, officers also found a scale and multiple small baggies that matched the same one that was found inside defendant Humphreys' purse. The defendant Crabtree had been trespassed from all Walmart properties on October 6, 2020 by Stephen Smart at the Clinton Highway location. The defendant Humphreys is a convicted felon from December 13, 2021 for manufacture, sale, and delivery of methamphetamine. The defendant Crabtree is a convicted felon from May 15, 2019 for trafficking cocaine in the state of Kentucky. Citation not issued because likely the offense will continue. Alright, you have some rights. I can go over the first is that you have the right to remain silent. No one can force you to make any statements. Any that you make voluntarily can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, I can appoint one for you. And you have the right to a preliminary hearing, that is a probable cause hearing with a judge with any evidence against you, and decide whether this case is strong enough to be bound over the grand jury for further prosecution. You understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It looks like I do finally have your forfeiture, wait a second. Never mind. I do finally have your affidavit, so we can do the appointment of an attorney at this time as well. So would you like me to appoint an attorney?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'd ask you some questions on oath. Make sure you qualify as well as to set your bond. So will you raise your right hand and be sworn in? This is the uniform affidavit of indigency that you filled out of the jail. You swear or affirm that everything you filled out on this form and your testimony you give is true and accurate?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You have a job?
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Ruby Tuesdays.
How much do you make?
I'm a waitress, so it kind of varies.
What do you think you average?
Probably about $400 or $500 a week right now.
Property, house, or car that you own?
No, sir.
Any other forms of income or of assets?
No, sir.
You live in Knoxville?
Yes, sir.
How long you lived here?
About 3 years. I live in a halfway house currently.
You have family here?
No, sir. I mean, I have like a couple of cousins and brothers, but
Is there anybody that vouch for reliability to show up in court?
yes, sir.
Who would that be?
Allison from the Ridgeview Reentry Program.
Okay, I'm going to set the bond on the simple possession or casual exchange at not $5,000, at $1,000. And then I'm going to set it on the possession of the weapon at $5,000 as a, there's no condition bond. I'm trying to rush through it here. I'm going to set these in felony court on Monday, that's November 28th, so that if you were unable to post these bonds, the judge can consider reducing them at that time. They'll reconsider it. If you do post them, they'll give you a different court date to go to when you're being released. Go to that one instead. They have the number of the public defender's office to jail. Try and get a hold of them prior to your court date. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm trying to rush through this. So it looks like you are represented by Michael Graves in another case.
Yes, sir.
And I will appoint Mr. Graves to represent you in this case as well. Mr. Graves' telephone number is 388-3199. Try and get a hold of him prior to your court date. And I'm going to waive the administrative fee that's normally assessed for the appointment of counsel, but it's already been assessed in another case. And that's all I have for you.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for taking so long.
Not your fault. And that's all I have for you.
Good one.
That's it. Thank you.
He's in custody. We've got him waiting on an arraignment for those warrants. I still have 3 men to arraign, by the way. I should be able to get it done in the next 15, I hope. Is that all you have is that paraphernalia and then the driving today? You swear?
Yeah.
I think you're good.
This is the one from the district, and just got on the road and insurance.
I think you're good.
Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Still wondering?
Possibly.
I just got back out.
They're not answering right this second. Yes, they are. I take that back. But they're not connecting. Now we're having computer issues.
I felt bad. When I walked in, I said, oh, we'll be on the ambulance.
And nothing has gone right on this set. You got Coulter.
What'd you say?
You got Coulter.
Yes, sir.
Any property damage from that crash?
Just another peek. Here's the only problem, she don't got no other citations behind her, sir. Is it that both females, one female said she ran the red light, the other one said, and I literally just drove up on the crash. And we can't find no cameras in the area to say,
Both vehicles have damage.
yes, sir, both of them are,
Alright, yeah, I'm adding that. The reason is, if there's if there's property damage in a vehicle, we have to do some things with bond. It has nothing to do with the offense itself.
okay. So that's
So and you had mentioned there was a crash, so I wanted to make sure if it was there, we had it in there.
That's why there was no citation other grip, because I can't now say who was at fault.
Yeah, as long, it matters to us if there is property damage, period, no matter who's involved.
Okay, I'll start putting that in there.
Even if it's on another vehicle, as a matter of fact. Probably even if it's their own vehicle. You swear
I swear to it, sir.
they're in there. I don't think they're gonna answer.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good
If I
one.
don't see y'all, y'all have blessed things.
You
Sure.
too.
If I send this other trooper in with my black suit, he brought it off.
We don't take those anymore. Take it to
Okay.
court when you get it, when
So
you
we just
go.
take it forward with us.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a hassle for us to keep it. It's probably gonna get lost the way we do things now. It used to be we printed a warrant. We don't print them right away anymore, so there's nowhere to put it.
Okay. So, thank you, sir.
All right. I think they're trying to answer, but it looks like they're having technical difficulties now. I guess he sent me a message. Let's see what he wrote. I can't find it.
Got a report from a trooper. And he's warning. It looks like public intoxication on two different people under the same report, which is no problem, except they've only sent me the information on the one person.
Interesting. It's an unusual charge for a trooper.
Hey folks, how y'all doing that?
Fine, how about you?
Good, pretty good. Good now. And she get one, for a Michael Gillian and Brandon Wilson.
I got the one, well, I got a report, it came through, the narrative shows both people, however, the arrest report was only for Wilson.
Right, so Wilson is in jail. The other party, because the jail refused to take him into custody because of the stitching, he had to be seen after using medical for his refusal. That's why he wasn't booked in. He was cited with a movable arrest.
Yeah, so Wilson should be in there then, right?
Okay. Okay.
You might have to refresh it.
That is, thank you, ma'am. But the narrative will be the same for both of them. Sure. Take it over for you.